topic of, right, got it. On the topic of political correctness between polite culture and cancel culture. So let's we proceed. Before we go more deep into the political correctness, I want to know from you guys, actually, have you ever heard about the term of a political correctness? I want to hear from you guys to share some experience. If it could be yes or no. If yes, please share a little bit of your experience about that. When did you heard about that? Or if no, it's totally should be no problem, because here we are going to discuss about this. Anyone want to go first?
If no one raises their hand, you might point one of them. That's okay.
Oh,
thank you.
It will be lovely. Yes, I will wait for another 10 seconds, I guess. Yes, from Western media. Yes, from Western media. From who is that? Here, I guess. Okay. I think that since there's no one raise their hands to speak, it means that they want me to pick them up. So the first we got from here. Wait, I will just from this. Yes. Here, Mr. or Miss? Mr. Right.
I'm a male.
Oh, hello. Hello, Mr.
Hello.
Pierre.
Okay.
Yes, okay. What do you think about this question? Have you ever heard about political correctness? And you were saying that you have heard from Western media. When is it and what was it about?
Yeah, so pretty much what I heard from about political correctness is like in Western culture, there's a lot of what you call it, argument, especially in the what you call it, gender topics like feminism, that kind of things. Even in Joe Rogan podcast, mostly on podcast, of course. So yeah, politically correct. Uh, there's a lot of argument on there on what it means and whether it's how to say it whether it's important or not. Well, for me myself, political correctness is it's important, but it depends on the time, depends on what context are you talking about, and depends on how important is the topic is. So that's pretty much it. What I think about the political correctness.
Oh, yes, yes. It was interesting actually because you have familiar with this term, like what you were saying that maybe you haven't really deep into the understanding of political correctness, but yes, from the one who have heard, it's something related to gender or issue or something like that. It's gonna be true or not, we haven't concluded yet. But yes, thank you so much for your sharing, Mr. Pierre. Is it correct? I have read this.
Yes, Pierre.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Pierre. Okay,
My pleasure.
any others? Anyone else? Let's see who have. Wait. I'm using my. What about Miss Nadia? Miss Nadia?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you, Miss Nadia?
Yeah, actually, I don't really understand about the topic. That's the reason why I come here tonight. I really want to dig deeper about this topic. I want to know more about political correctness. So thank you for bringing this topic tonight.
Oh, all right. You are very welcome, Miss Nadia. That's that's all from Miss Nadia. It's okay. Thank you so much. And what about Mr. Tama?
Okay,
Mr.
thanks for your opportunity for me. Okay,
Yes.
I just assert about the political correctness is like one of ways to communicate and soften the words. Okay, among the people, especially when we talk each other like face to face, and how to make it avoid about the bad words. Okay, so they can feel hurting from us that I know. Okay.
Yes. When people kind of saying a bad words, then there's gonna be something happen to them, right? Is it what
Yeah.
you were saying?
We avoid to speak to the people, especially we it, I mean we didn't mean to make their feeling, okay, hurting their feelings, okay, especially and soften the words and make like, okay, you are a black people, and we can say that like, okay, you're not white people and you can join us. Yeah.
Oh,
Soften the language that I know. I got, yeah.
oh
Okay,
yeah.
thanks
Yeah,
for your time. That's
I
all.
get you. I get you. I get you. Thank you so much for your sharing, Mr. Tama. Yes, it's gonna be true actually. Well, oh yeah, we got someone who raised his hand. I'm so sorry. I was not really aware. Okay, Mr. Angga, you are very welcome to speak.
Yeah, even though I'm a host, I can also speak up, right?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. Um, being politically correct, I think I've been implementing this term since a while ago, but I just didn't know the term before talking about this topic tonight, because it's basically avoiding disparaging or insulting others. You avoid making some words that make people feel bad, just like what has been said by Tama before. What words that I haven't that I don't use anymore? It's um, like black and white, for example. It's like talking about as if black is bad. Black is always bad, and white is always true or correct. I think it's also one of them. And other issues, um, like if you are in the workplace, for example, I've often come across with this words or sentences. If you don't work hard, I'll send you to Papua. Yeah, it's as long as Papua is a like a backward society. And
Yeah.
another thing is about animal. Sometimes, often people when they want to say sorry, it is a bad word like fuck or shit. They always say in Indonesia, for instance, they usually call anjing, babi, or pig, or dog, for example. It's as if dogs and pigs are bad animals, but they're actually useful animals, right?
Yeah.
Even I think they are worse than those animals that they mentioned. So I think, in my opinion, we need to avoid this kind of bad words. And by doing so, we need to also be aware of this kind of important issue, which is politically correct. Yeah, that's what I understand at the moment about it. Thank you.
All right. It was well agreed by me actually, because like yeah, this term is just something new to us. Well, actually in a reality, we we used to that, even though you guys didn't really realize it. Maybe in Indonesia the term is different. I'm gonna tell you later. All right, maybe that's all for this slide. I heard some impression input already, and I think I'm already feeling the excitement from you guys. Let's we go to the next slide. Why it's not working? Okay, sorry. Yeah, the real question will be asked to you guys. What do you think about the definition of political correctness? Is there anyone want to share? Just the glance from you guys when you hear this term, when you hear this, yes, this term, it's not just a word, this term. Political correctness, is it something related to politics or not? What do you guys think? All right, Mr. Teguh, you are very welcome to speak.
Well, for me, political correctness related to how we shift the language in use. We use the better language than before, like the article Angga shared before that. What is it called? In native Australian, Aboriginal Australian called bobs, bongs, and it's a bad words, and they and people get like trying to be politically correct, and try to use another word that better than those words.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So what Mr. Teguh was saying is like political correctness is when we are in the manners to avoid to use a language that preventing us to insult particular groups of people that has been mentioned about Australian people has been called as, what was it again? Bro? Is it bro?
Yeah, I think bongs or something. I forgot.
Bonds are okay. I think I'm also kind of not really familiar with the terms, but yeah, it's actually has been viewed as a bad words in the society. Well, it's not something good to be received by the Australian people, isn't it? All right, thank you so much, Mr. Teguh, for your statement. What about others? Any glance?
Okay, this is about from my opinion about the political correctness is important or crucial for us because when we are associating to the people, especially for the first impression, okay, how to make it much better, we need to use every single how to say the password, okay. Example, when I'm joining this, okay, for the first time I meet you guys, and I need to use or utilizing um how to say a good words, and then I remember about the in American especially how like talk show, okay, the talk show is led by I forgot about his name, okay, he's
Okay.
black man, okay. So example that, okay, black man is bad word, and I need to say that, okay, in America are a lot of people, okay, who have I mean different colors of skin, I mean color skin, and I remember about this one thing, like more soften, how to say, this is not your business, but the word is like no, please. Yeah, that is a political correctness that if you get the point, okay, it's none of your business, it's more soften, softer, I mean. And then no, please, okay, it's worse. Yeah, that I get, okay. If you get a point, okay, between no, please, and it's none of your business. Yeah.
All right. I think I'm trying to get you. There's a question from me actually. What? So, do you think that when we are forced, we must to be a politically correct? Does it mean we cannot be straight to other people? What do you think?
Okay, pardon, could you repeat because I didn't hear you clearly?
Oh, you didn't curl. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Really? What about now?
Yeah, it's clear.
It's clear. Okay. May I repeat again? Yeah. I just want to ask you the question that do you think from your statement from your statement. Okay. I don't want to make it more complicated. Do you think that we have to be politically correct, but then it means people cannot be straightforward to other people?
That you mean like hurting someone's feeling like that? No?
No?
It sounds like a misunderstanding about communication. Correctness.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Tama, for your glance of this terms, political correctness. Thank you. Okay, we have Mr. Angga again. Correct, Desan?
I reckon it's about respectful, being respectful to others. I agree with Tama beforehand, especially for those who are more oppressed in the society. I think it also related to acknowledge their rights, just like regarding the issues of racism, for example. When you're saying that anything black is bad, I think it's very racist, in my opinion. That's why we need to avoid these words to depict that everything black is bad. This is just one of the examples of acknowledging people's rights, human rights, and also being respectful at the same time.
Okay. So yeah, what I got from you then, being politically correct, it means we are trying to be more respectful.
Yeah, and acknowledge their rights as well.
Yeah, okay.
That they should be also, we need to like increase their well-being as well. It's not only being respectful. Every human has the same rights.
Yes, I also agree with that. I don't know, maybe like in society there's a lot of stereotyping, right? Stereotypes that has been formed by society itself. That's why maybe this political correctness is like a campaign or movement to avoid, like to try to protect, to try to maybe protect or also reduce the bad stereotype that has been formed, isn't real. That's why, okay. I want to hear from others. Is there anyone want to share with us? Okay, we have Mr. Teguh. Yeah, you are very welcome, Mr.
Well, thank you for the time. Well, I think political correctness is not, I think political correctness is not about being straightforward. I think, and I agree with Angga, political correctness, it's about being respectful. So I think, in the article that Angga shared in the group, they're really clearly how Trump used harsh language towards minority, and the language also gets some. It's like when Trump trying to ban all Muslim, and he related terrorist act Muslims in a gay club. I think there's no casualties, right? There's no casualties. So I think the real problem is how, well, basically the problem is, what is it? The ownership of gun in the United States, that without a limit, and it's not normal. But Trump avoiding talking about gun ownership. Instead, they blame minority groups in United States, and it caused discrimination toward the Muslim. Thank you.
Oh, it's kind of interesting with the terms that you just mentioned. Gun.
Ya, gun ownership, kepemilikan senjata, gun ownership.
Oh, is it? Oh, so that words, it has been how do I say?
Well, basically, political correctness is a weapon to avoid the real problems, but how Trump avoid the real problem is using that their opponent, it's only focused on being politically correct. So I think that's why in my conclusion, political correctness is not related to being straightforward, but it changed your but actually relate to how the language you use and how you respond. How you respond the real problems in your society.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Mr. Teguh was saying that being politically correct it doesn't mean you cannot be straightforward, but it's like give you more enforcement to be more respectful, because it's what should be as a human being, right? Thank you so much. And then we have Mr. Azka. Just raise his hand. You are very welcome to speak.
Hi, Risha. No, it's okay. It's always happen. No. It's
Oh my god! My bad.
No, it's all right. No, I just I just add probably like a point related to political correctness. Like it's the first thing that I got. I just heard it from this session today. But then related to like what I'm doing, probably like when we have projects or evaluation or like monitoring, sometimes the evaluator ask questions, and it's good like when we do like make questions. It's not only about statement who like which not was it like offense other people, right? So we have to respect others, but also questions. So how we have questions with not like intent to offense or like directed someone towards like some point. And then it's like happen like in many development projects when we do have like interview questions or clarification, we have to consider like all the backgrounds, whether we should use X language or Y language. That's probably the point that I want to add. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, again, before that, I want to say really sorry because of my mistake before. Like responding to the Miss Azka statement just now, we have to what I'm sorry, what the words again? It's on my tongue. we have to aware who to who we are talking, like, and also in order to prevent being offensive to others, like we need to really understand it, or at least we just trying to this kind of person, this kind of people, or I'm sorry. What I don't know. Maybe I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my weaknesses. Okay. Maybe what I can highlight is like we really need to aware what is the background of our of the people that we are talking to, right? And we also need to aware ourselves that being a human, being a person being, we need to watch our words to be well delivered, right? I think I want to hear again from others. Is there anyone else want to say something? Want to give your glance about the definition of this political correctness?
Can we hear from you, Lisa?
Oh, from me?
Yeah.
Okay, I will try. Yeah, since I have familiar with this political correctness is just recently. So what do I think about political correctness? Political correctness is when is a term that be used to avoid us to being offensive towards people, a particular group of people, because of there is a lot of stereotypes those to those or has been pressured or has been labeled to this particular group of people. It's because the society establishment itself and political correctness itself, it's more likely to the language rather than the real action, to the language, language and words, how we aware with our words. Yeah, maybe that's all. Because of there's the emergence of bad stereotypes towards particular group of people, so that this political correctness comes to try to solve, to cover this problem, to reduce the negative vibes in society.
Can I give like my point of view? Like it depends on the community. Okay, when we get into speaking to the people. Okay, especially example. Okay, community A. Okay, community A. Okay, they are free. You want to speak up, you want to talk about things, especially in bad words or polite words, in polite words, it's okay, never mind. But and then, for example, is community B, okay? In community B, okay, especially like academics, okay, you know, the academics, and then we have to utilize about the polite words and then academic words, and we cannot use impolite word example like daily conversation in Indonesia like anjay, okay. What else? Another example is sorry to say, okay, in Surabaya is true, okay, but okay, in the community B, okay, it cannot be used. But community A, you can use it, okay, all the time. It's okay, never mind, because they are accustomed to listening or speaking about the words. Yeah, that's my opinion. It depends on the community, okay, or societies. Yeah, depends on that. Thank you.
Yeah. Kind of interesting highlight. It depends on the community or society. Yes. So actually the substance of political correctness emergent itself is good, has a good point, has a good objective, right? But then the things, the unique things, or if you guys aware, I'm not sure, but I hope you guys, it's also because of the community itself, because of the society itself, that therefore appears another phenomenon regarding this political correctness. Okay, so can we proceed to other slide? I think so.
Yes, please.
So this is the general, I mean the political correctness definition. I get it from internet, of course, and has been, I mean, like published to the society. So political correctness is political correctitude, avoidance, expressions or actions that can be perceived to exclude or marginalize or insult people who are socially disadvantaged or discriminated against. PC or political correctness, language avoids language. There's a language that has been discussed before. Yes, avoids direct offensive reference to gender, sexual orientation, race, religion, occupation, vices, nationality, social class, physical appearance or condition, and disabilities. So regarding to this definition, is there anyone who disagree or agree with this definition? Any glance?
I think it's already covered everything.
Okay, it's already covered everything.
But I just wonder actually, like after reading this definition, is it like political correctness right now is more like intentional or unintentional?
In the certain area or in general?
In general, when we say something political incorrect, is it something like we do it because this is like intentional, or probably because we just don't know it?
It could be both. It could be both. Like we intentionally being politically incorrect because maybe because of personal preference, or unintentionally. I couldn't, I mean, disclaimer, I couldn't like fix it on, maybe, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion, what I have got from my research, from my study regarding this. Yes, Mr. Pierre?
Well, I think like being politically correct at this time basically is very difficult because like how'd you say it? It's just so many things that you can hurt people. Is so many ways that you can hurt people, so many things that you can make people feel insulted these days, you know. And I think there's one talk that I found in the internet, and these speakers basically they had a different, and it was about gender. The talk was, and one of the speakers just say that, and in order to find the truth, sometimes you just have to say it. Sometimes you just have to, well, not intentionally, but you just have to a little bit hurt people, kind of. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like,
Yes, yes, I get you. Oh, yeah. So
oh,
is
by
it
the
mean
way,
like you?
sorry to cut a little bit. By the way, this talk was between Jordan Peterson and also, I don't know if you ever heard that, but it was between Jordan Peterson. So he was social something that has to do with social what you call it, PhD, that kind of thing, and he was invited in the, I'm not sure if it CNN or uh, BBC, but basically they had this big conversation about gender, and that's what they say in terms of finding the truth. Sometimes you just have to be harsh a little bit. Yeah.
So means like you are slightly or maybe kind of disagree for being enforced to be politically correct, isn't it?
Well, not disagree, but political correctness is very subjective matters. So you can think that yourself as, I mean, the way you say things or the way you talk is already politically correct, but for someone else it could be not. So that's what I think. It's very subjective. That's all I say. Could be different between you and me and
It,
like person to person.
okay. Okay, I got you. Oh, so it's kind of subjective. Okay, maybe I will try to listen from Mr. Angga first.
I've got what the previous speaker saying. Yeah, I think it's also an important issue, especially when we would like to criticize someone else, like directly or rightly, okay, in front of them, so that our criticism can be touched and uh, heard from them. I think it's very important to be more open, to be more straightforward to the statement that you want to say. I remember this in terms of like American politics at a time when some people, for example, when the people who say a bad words or bad things, just like Trump, for example, he used to say a bad things about immigrants. I think it's okay to call him racist. That's a correct word to define who he is. And previously as well, in terms of the election previously, some people refer, who's the president, another opponent of Trump. Oh, Hillary Clinton. Some people said that Hillary is she is an imperialist because what she did at the time, she often legitimized operations faced by Middle East, for example, and other things. And many people or some people in the United States call her as a imperialist. I think it's okay. It's a correct term. If you want to criticize someone, you need to say it rightly or openly to people so that your criticism can be understood well with other. And in Indonesian context, I think it's also an issue with the activism around activists, for example. Well, we need to criticize the government openly, just like what the activists in other Western countries do. But I think I agree that if we would like to criticize someone rightly, yeah, we need to be more open with our criticism, with our words.
Yeah, I get you. Oh, okay. Maybe I will try to listen from others first. Mr. Teguh is raising his hand.
Well, thank you. I think political correctness, I think we need to limit it, our discussion, that politic correctness is important because it's mean we protect the marginalized or disadvantaged people. Uh, I think it's not about truth or being harsh because you're fighting the truth. It's about how we change the language. Like when I was, I think like 9 years ago, I was a journalist and I talking with labor activists, and suddenly we talk about domestic workers, and I refer them as a pembantu. And the activist suddenly, like correct me with her, with her some expression and attitudes that no, it's not pembantu. Please call them pekerja rumah tangga atau asisten rumah tangga. She argued that because they came to your house, they're not just help, but they work for you. So I think it's kind of makes sense because if we insist we use word pembantu, that's mean we did not acknowledge the pain, the difficulty, the disadvantage, the disadvantage that happened to the domestic workers. We just show that we have power over the domestic powers. That's why it's not, I think political correctness is not about talking about truth. It's not about speaking straightforward. It's about how we protect the disadvantaged and marginalized people. And yeah, I think that's my point of view. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Teguh. Yeah, so I think you mentioned again, you highlighted again that political correctness is not just like we are not allowed to be straightforward, but it's how we change the language to be more appropriate, right? As in, okay.
Yeah, definitely, Lisha.
Okay. Yeah, all right, thank you. And also, like, what was saying by Mr. Angga that being politically correct doesn't mean we are not allowed to criticize people. If there's someone who should or who have to be criticized because he or they have done something wrong. In example, they need to be criticized in order to them to make them change their manners, their action, right? To correct it, in order to so them they're not going to be another mistake being made. Okay, maybe I will go to the next slide for us to know, to familiar knowledge the political correctness word example. You guys can see my screen, right? Okay. Yeah, like this for gender. There's no longer mankind words, but we need to change it to humankind. There's no longer fireman. We need to change it to firefighter. Why? Why there's no mankind again? But we need to change it to replace it to humankind. What things that you guys realize or notice by looking at these examples of political correctness words? Okay, Mr. Teguh?
Yeah, it's really interesting, the example words that you give us today. Yeah, when you use mankind, you exclusively refer to a specific one gender, like man. But we live in the earth, there's also women, and I think it's more proper we can change it into humankind. And also the air hostess, I think air hostess is female, right? So I think it's just, yeah, like that's discrimination against men, I think. Like, so the proper word is become flight attendant. So the man also can be, you know, like, what is it? Serving in the airplane. And thank God our Indonesian, our language, I think do not have this kind of words. We do not, we have a lot of neutral gender words. So like basically man or woman or non-binary people could participate it, you know, could be included. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I kind of agree with that. Thank you so much for Mr. Teguh. Anyone else want to give your statement regarding this?
This is not about a statement, but like a question. Okay, what is a factor? Okay, which causes about the behaviors person, how do they, I mean, like they do or speak or other thing in a bad words or impolite words. Okay, it's from internal factor or external factor. But sometimes we didn't realize about it. And I have a friend. Okay, for the first time, okay, we meet like a new person, okay, or stranger. He gives like a joke, but the joke is like a dark joke. But about the situation, for the first normal people, okay, will give the first impression is a good action or a good I mean like intention, okay, to make like a personal branding, but he doesn't. But yeah, what is the factor? What I mean, okay, about this internal or external factor. But we know about the action. There's a thing, okay, causes about this. Thank you.
All right. Okay, I think I'm trying to get you. Okay. What if I try to hear from other participant? I want to try asking Miss Dena.
Okay.
Yeah, lovely. What do you think?
Okay, Miss. Before I want to, my definition of political
Correctness.
Correctness, but that's I want to asking, but not yet.
Okay.
So now I will talking about political correction. Okay, for me, politics is something that is always related to the economies, and for me, politics is also used for our daily lives. So you can't stay away from political activity. So as in business competition, and in the school we also using the political we can competition with our friends.
Yes.
And in our lives also we can using the political and etc. For me in our life we always using the political, but I hope we can using political with healthy. Only that's for me about political means. Thank you.
Okay. That's so fine. Actually, thank you so much from Miss Dana that you have already aware that political things it's implemented in every field of life. It's
yes,
not
right.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Before our small activity, we always using the politicals, and every day, sure, we also using the political, but business, school, about our society, and etc. I think we also using that.
Yeah. I
That's
agree.
right. That's right, Miss. That's right or no?
Well, regarding the political terms, yes, you are right. Like, we even will unconsciously being political, right? And but maybe, however, regarding political correctness in this time, uh, it's it's kind of a little bit unrelated, but it's so fine. It's so fine. You have tried, and I really appreciate that. Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Dana.
Okay, you're welcome.
There's someone had raised his hand, Mr. Pierre. Yeah, you are very welcome.
Hi. So, looking at the examples of this political correct words. So, what do you think of? I mean, I want to ask like some of this what you call it, some of these words, the more politically correct words are familiar for me, but some of them, but most of them is actually this is the first time I've seen it. For example, humankind firefighter, flight attendant, that's pretty much common when we hear it. But like, what do you think, like using some of this word, like for example, for homeless, you use outdoor urban dweller, this, and then what you call it, cowboy, bovine control officer, this, some of the words that I've never heard actually. And unemployed is involuntarily leisured. uh do you think like this type of words is gonna be used someday, or is it like, of course, like just for example, in Asia, like you have tukang sampah, that doesn't really sounds correct, right? But what kind of words do you have when you want to say that words? What do you think in your mind you could use to replace it?
Oh, you are asking me? Oh.
Yes. That's a question. Basically, that's a long question, so maybe confusing a little bit. But basically, the question is, for most of this, even for example, what was that, homeless, in BBC, in Vice, in CNN, when they're talking about homeless, they still use these words. Do you think like it's gonna be used someday, and how long do you think it would be uh, to take us from homeless, and then when people start using outdoor urban dweller, which is considerably longer words, when do you think like the change will come, and what does it take for us to have these changes?
Okay, maybe what I could say is like, because it's not comes to my decision, right? So this kind of example, it's actually can be used. It's gonna be used in the future if the political correctness mindset has been campaigned to the community enforcedly. I mean, I see. Yeah, if there's no people who against this political correctness, then it means it's gonna be the stigma that gonna stigma in society. If society already has that mindset, has that stigma, then they will implementing it, right? So yeah, those words, there's a possibility. I'm not sure is it probability, but there's still possibility that this kind of words will be used in the future.
I see.
If there's no one against this campaign.
I see. Yep, sure. Thank you for the answers, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for asking, actually. Okay, I think I noticed there was someone raised her hand. It was Miss Sophie, isn't it? Miss Sophie?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, you are very welcome to share.
Yeah, I was actually thinking wondering the same question with Mr. Tama, and I think he already he already delivered what I was about to ask. Like, we used to be fine with all of these names or labels, but suddenly our society just being offended. I'm so sorry if I'm not really familiar with this kind of topic, and I'm not really digging deep into doing the research related to the discussion of tonight. But but why, like, we should change several words into the harder one. I mean, homeless, it used to be fine, but why we should change it into outdoor urban uh and stuff? It takes 3 words to describe a homeless. Why not just use homeless? It's easier and shorter. I think that's, and the question it goes for all the participants as well, in case there's someone to answer. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Like, yeah, the question is it necessary, right? Is it necessary to make all of these kind of words to being politically correct? Is it necessary? Because in the past, we have been used with all the language. Of course, we don't mean to be offensive, right? But why suddenly this political correctness came and tried to convince us to change those language that has been used in the society? Is it necessary? Is there any urgency? Isn't it, right? Okay, so this question is open, of course, to all of the participants, all of the speakers. And here, if there's anyone who want to try to question, answer, of course, you are very welcome. Okay, we have Miss Firda. Yes, Miss Firda.
Okay, thank you, Miss. I just joined this discussion and just got the clue after I understand the question from Miss Sophie, and I kind of also agree with Miss Sophie. First of all, talking about language, language in each country has different types. Of course, brings also followed by different culture, right? So the tendency or the urgency to change the name also belongs to the society. So if this campaign only realized by the certain people, it will not change at all, because at the end, the more popular the words used by the society, that will be continuously used by the society. So even though you propose here to I'm so sorry if it is a little bit harsh, but even though we propose to use more polite words, but if the society do not need that, do not use that, or even do not understand that, it will never be changed as well. And then following language, let's say development, I forgot the professor said this, but the tendency of people nowadays is less familiar with politeness because they want it to be instant and to be easy. So I also agree with what Miss Sophie said before, that why we have to change it into more complex, which we think polite, but it's not necessary for society, rather than accept it. I mean that being homeless is hard. That's why you are pushed not to be homeless. Why not changing the situation rather than change language? Okay, that's my opinion. Thank you.
Yeah. Being homeless, who want to be homeless, right? If the terms of homeless change to older urban dweller become more acceptable, so people will just think, okay, I will not be seen by negatively because I'm not homeless. I'm older urban dweller. isn't it? So, yeah, maybe your question also indirectly answering what the question before. Is it necessary? What is the tendency? What is the urgency to be politically correct? Okay, that's kind of impressive statement. We have the last one from Mr. Teguh for this slide.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying to answer the question. Is it necessary? For me, yes, it is necessary. Sometimes we change our language because when we change our language, it will transform the way we're thinking. And after that, uh, it will change our attitudes, our behavior, and later on, it will transform the policy, national policy. And sometimes I think that's the difference between Indonesian and English. I believe Indonesian is more inclusive. They have some inclusive words. Uh, I think according to the words that you given us today, like fireman, if we still insist we use fireman, how about the woman that trying to join the field? The woman will be excluded. And for poor, I think it's interesting. The word poor, it changed with economically marginalized. I think it's more specific because sometimes you can have like 1 billion rupees, but you still feel poor, right? So I think the words here, it's more like strict to the context. And I don't know about the homeless thing, but I think that's kind of funny when we change the homeless into residently flex. And I'm really curious, is it really the homeless people don't want to be the homeless? Maybe we should ask them, is it really you want it, being homeless, like roaming around the street? Perhaps we don't know. Maybe that's his choices, that their choices. I don't know. I think we need further research for that. Thank you.
Oh yeah, so we need further reason. Okay.
For the research, sorry.
Research. Sorry. Yeah. So Mr. Teguh was saying that yeah, we need to change. We try to change because if there's a change towards things, I don't know how to respond. Like from some reason, for some occasion, for some for certain circumstances, there is a need for us to aware to that the necessity is how like is it necessary for us to be this way or this way? So the changes is like needed in order to set people right. Am I correct?
Well, yeah.
Okay, but this thing that kind of triggered me from the social class. Oh, I'm sorry, but poor words has very wide meaning because poor doesn't only represent the condition of economic condition, right? So is it necessary for us to change the poor terms to economically marginalized? How if people misunderstand it? Oh, all right, it's okay. Okay, maybe we can move on to the next slide. Because of this excitement, I'm kind of forget what's gonna be the next slide. I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah. So the question will be, what kind of political correctness conduct that you guys are aware of? That maybe, you guys remember, this is political correctness conduct. Oh, this people was being politically correct or something related to that. What kind of political correctness conduct that you guys are aware of? Just raise your hand first. Oh. No one? Okay, so then I will try to pick someone. Mr. Patrick.
Good morning. I mean, good evening.
Very good evening, Mr. So what do you think about regarding this question?
Hello, first of all, hello to everyone.
Yes.
I can see that you are discussing and having a conversation, and people are trying to express their ideas, no?
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know. Humans are very complicated creatures.
Yes.
We are
Sadly,
very complicated. What?
No, it's okay. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So, but first of all, I just would like to introduce myself, maybe, so people know who I am, right? I think before answering a question, I think, I don't know, because I'm observing that a lot of people don't share their camera. People are afraid of each other. And that is something which is solvable, you know? So what we have to do first, I think, and the whole world is in the same situation, everyone, we have to gain trust. We have to understand each other. We have to, and the only way to gain trust is actually to talk about trust also. And that's why I'm trying to introduce myself, so people know who I am, you know? So I'm Patrick. I was born in Germany, but I have been around the world. I've lived in the States, in Ecuador for a lot of time. I used to live in Canada as well. Now I live in Colombia. That means I have traveled around the world. I have lived somewhere, not just traveling. I have also lived in different systems. I was born in East Germany, so I know what it means to live in a communist society, which is, I mean, which has been wonderful as a child, but politically, and here it's like the political correctness, right, and everything. So I have a lot of stories, a lot of stories to tell. And I also do storytelling, and that's how I think Lisa that you met me, and I think storytelling is a good way of getting to know each other, you know, and opening up, you know. Like most people are like this. They have the view of, okay, I'm from Colombia, and this is the correct way, you know, so we go like that. But hey, there is Indonesia here, there is Germany here, there are so many other countries. So what we have to learn in this world is to open up our minds.
Yeah.
Open up our minds and show empathy. That's the most important thing, but people cannot do it because people are still in their bubble. So you have to ask yourself, right? Am I in my bubble? I'm not in my bubble. I'm not, because I have traveled around the world and I'm trying to understand other cultures. I'm trying to transmit another culture, by the way. I live in Colombia right now, but I'm German. I was born in Germany. And yesterday people asked me, Patrick, which country is better for you, Germany or Colombia? I said, neither one, because I'm a world citizen. Colombia has beautiful things. Germany has beautiful things. So yeah, I cannot just say Germany is better or Colombia is better or something. I don't know. And yeah, if you don't have money to travel around the world, that's why we're here, you know? That's why we are learning online. So I know a lot of people, but this is, for example, something, you know, let's just say what you said, Tigu, yeah? Tigu? I don't have money to travel around the world. This is a sentence, right? And it might be true. Yes, a lot of people don't have the possibility to go around the world, you know? And I know it's about money, but you thought that I have money or something? The way I travel around the world is I was working as a bartender. I was working as illegally also in the States. So there are a lot of ways actually to do it, but people are afraid to do it, and people are afraid to get out of their bubble. So, for example, if you live somewhere in Indonesia, most people of you, right, are in Indonesia. Start with your country. I mean, if you don't have money, let's say, then it's an excuse, right? People say, I don't have money, and it's already something negative, right? Your mindset is already, I don't have money, I don't do it. And you are excusing yourself. You're just saying you are the victim, right? You're victimizing yourself. Sir, I don't have money. What are you talking about? I mean, I'm just saying in general, right? Never get offensive. There's nothing, yeah, we have to try to have empathy also with me, and the keyword is empathy. And the keyword is to be able to understand the message of the other person and what does the other person want, right? And so of course, money is a big issue. But I had no money. I still don't have money. But I have kids, I have family. What I do is I try to separate things. You know, for example, I don't buy clothing all the time. I don't have a car. So what I do is, you know, I have three jobs. I started my own business, let's say, through the pandemic, and I try to communicate with people here, and I'm happy to be here. You know, for example, I think I have a lot of Indonesian friends now because of the internet. So it's pretty cool. But we have to let go, you know, let go of our competitiveness, competing, right? Who is this guy, Mr. Patrick? Haha, talking wisely, going around the world. Who is he? Who is that guy, right? If you have that mindset, like this competitiveness or something, it's already not very healthy. So the world should be open-minded, like, you know, okay, hey, he's talking about traveling, maybe he has a good advice, you know. Like every situation I'm in this world right now is, I'm trying to make the best out of it. I take the positive things. And what I realized that a lot of people, they always focus on the negative things first. I don't know. It's just what I'm trying to, what I'm observing. I'm trying to observe, right? But I don't want to get offensive. And you know, the political correctness, right? This is the topic. The political correctness. It's very difficult to say something because of human nature. Human nature is, we humans, we are very dangerous, creepy creatures. We are just crazy because we always feel that the other person might attack us. So if you feel that I'm here to attack you, that's already a mistake, because I'm not here to attack you. You know, just saying in general things. So we have to learn to listen to someone and share. And the word is trust. You know, we have trust, we have empathy, and basically competitiveness is also something which is humans, we are still animals. we are trying to survive. And if I'm stronger than you, I have a better chance to survive. But how about using our brain, you know? Our brain is something which is evolving, still evolving. And right now, because of the internet, we are coming together, you know? And I love it. For me, it's just incredible. For me, that's why I came here, because I'm so curious. I like to meet people from other continents. Just incredible. But I realized, for example, that people from Indonesia, just an observation, for me, they are very polite. You know, the people I have met, you know, let's say in my life, through the internet, only through the internet, because I haven't been to Indonesia. I have been only to Malaysia, to Japan, Hong Kong, and Singapore. I was very close to Indonesia and I didn't go, you know, so that was so stupid. But I don't know why I just didn't go, because I had my plan and I was traveling with my son and we had good fun and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, so I know, let's say, people from Indonesia because of the internet, and everyone I met from Indonesia, everyone very polite people, and I would say not extroverted. For example, I'm an extroverted guy. Right now, I'm serious, right? But I'm an extroverted guy, very like I go ahead, I make fun, I'm very easygoing. And my impression from Indonesian people I met, I would say they are very polite and respectful, you know? And I think it's a great thing. And I also have chats, you know, and there are some people from Africa also. For example, the guy from Africa I just met online, and I added him to our storytelling chat. He is so extroverted. He's like, "Good morning, everyone," and he's trying to have conversation and blah blah blah. So look the differences we have, you know, the differences in our education, culture, personality, the genes from our parents, the history. So we are so different, you know, and and the idea is to get to know the differences and handle it in a good way, and not being offensive all the time. A lot of people are like, "Hey, sir, what are you talking about? You know, I cannot go outside my country, or I cannot leave my country because I don't have a chance." So I don't know, I'm just saying, right? So we have to be open for everything. For example, if you don't have money, then we need to find a way to make money. There is no other chance. But I'm sure you have food, you have a job, you have internet. A lot of people don't have internet because they have no money. The moment you have internet, the moment you have a computer, you have a cell phone, then you do have some money. That's just a fact.
All right.
So, and you can start traveling around your country, because Indonesia is so huge. And I'm sure that Indonesia, like all the islands, they have different cultures within the islands. So if you start traveling inside your country, that's a good start. And then you just go to Singapore, then you go up to Malaysia, you can go to Vietnam. I don't know about the visa, but I learned from life that you have to do it. Don't talk about it. Hey, I cannot do it. I do this. It's all excuses. It's all in your mind. A lot of people are afraid. So we have to leave our bubble. Our bubble it's called comfort zone.
All right.
I'm comfortable right now with my opinion. I don't have money. That's it.
So, okay.
If you stay there, then you will never have money. But if you try to leave your comfort zone and say, "Okay, I will get on my bicycle and I will go around Indonesia. And then I see maybe if I get a job as a bartender or as a waiter." You know, I have done it all. I worked everywhere. I worked as anything you can imagine, just to get some money. And just my experience.
Patrick,
Anyway.
I'm sorry, Patrick. to cut you
Yeah.
because I think we also need to hear from other.
Yeah. I have to leave. I just want to say something. To say who I am and go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's
I have
really
another
nice.
meeting.
It's really nice
Nice
to
to
have
meet
you here.
you. Nice to meet you, folks.
Nice to
Nice
meet
to meet
you.
you, dear friends. Yes, I'm learning from you because this is great what you're doing. You know, so it's awesome. And
Sure,
I have
bye.
another. I would like to stay, but I have my own classes right now, my own meeting. They're also free. Every Saturday at time right now from 10 o'clock, so it's 10 the same in Indonesia. It's from 10 till 12. I have also storytelling meeting. Feel free to join. I
Oh,
will
sure,
leave
sure.
I will leave the link, okay?
Sure, sure.
I'm gonna leave the link
very
here so you can
excited.
join later after your meeting. Otherwise, I would stay on, right? So let me change that link, okay? And change, not paste. I mean copy. That I'm copying the link, and then I'm
You may
pasting
share
it
it
right
after
now
that.
here.
I think we need to focus on elaborating this issue first. Or maybe people
Yeah.
have
So
different,
you keep
context
with the
as well.
discussion. It's a great stuff. Great stuff you're doing. Awesome.
Thank
Next
you.
time I join in a little earlier because I didn't see the message today, and so now that's why I have to go. Otherwise, I would stay and listen more. Okay, I see you when I see you. Thanks so much.
Thank
And,
you, Patrick, for coming and sharing your experience.
Of course, we keep working together as a planet, one planet,
Of course.
only one kind of human. Yeah, the humans is one race, you know. So that's the most important thing. We are one planet. So working together. Okay, many hugs. Ciao.
Thank you.
So much, Patrick, with your great experience sharing to us. Okay, I think I want to listen from others. At least one again. Okay. Is there anyone else want to share or try to answer what kind of experience that you have been experienced before regarding the political correctness conduct? Anyone? Okay, Miss Firda, you are very welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Miss. Probably to make us in the line of our discussion again, I want to share about my experience comparing local communities in Indonesia based on our tribe. So recently, I live in Medan, but sometimes I also went to not sometimes. I mean, last year I went to Jogja and I saw that political correctness that I aware, and it is very significant. It's about how direct people in Medan telling about many things rather than people in Java. I don't know if it is part of the political things or political issues, but that's part of culture. And it is very related to not politeness, but culture and also habits of people. And so probably if it is related to political correctness here, I would say that the way people convince Medanese and Javanese will be different because we have different culture and we have also different kind of approach. Yeah, that's my story. Probably the other will share more.
Apparently, this kind of culture things, it could be also both political correctness conduct, right? Okay, I want to hear from Mr. Angga. Okay, you're very welcome. Are you there?
Yeah, I think I did mention some of them before. Words related to animals, when we want to say bad words. Some Indonesians, I think, still say animals like pigs, dogs, etc. I think we need to also think more about it as well. And then another thing that I'll also avoid saying people or calling people by their race as well when we want to judge them, like when you want to say something bad, you're like I will send you to Papua. You're just like black people, for example. I think it's also politically incorrect and also impolite. And another stuff that is that's still that I'm still thinking is about when you would like to ask someone whether they have partner, like wife or husband. Some people, but for me, I still I ask, do you have partner, instead of saying, do you have wife or do you have husband? Because in my opinion, not everyone wants to have a wife and husband yet in their lives, and I acknowledge their rights and choice as well. And not everyone are not everyone is heterosexual, heterosexually, in my opinion. So yeah, we also need to acknowledge their rights about it. That's the thing that I'm aware of.
Apparently, there's a lot, right? That actually political correctness in our daily life. We just has be haven't aware with the terms. We just saying or justifying it as impolite. Mr. Teguh, yes?
Well, thank you. I think because of I work in media, so word choice it's really important for me, and I really aware of what kind of choice, what kind of words that I pick, to address someone. I have to make sure that my words doesn't offend anyone. When I talk to, let's say, transgender people, I have make sure that I use the correct pronouns. What else? If I talk to indigenous people, I have accommodate, their knowledge and they write here about how they describe themselves, something like that. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Since you're working in the media field, right? We need to really watch our terms, our language, that because only the letters and words that will gonna be published.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. All right. Is there anyone else want to share?
I miss.
Yes, Miss Dena.
Okay. For me, we're talking about political correct. We should do politics in the right. It's true that politics is so benefit ourselves, but in the other side, we also have to face social life, and even though there is a class level, but if possible, we must continue to carry out political activity, political activity in the right way, not harm other people. For the example, in the big political sector, when we run for a governor example, we must win the heart of voters in the right way by using our strengths to become someone else point of view, not by bringing down the opponent. In the other example, we must be um, we must be care with our society. We can mix our society can mix but our positive side but we so that's they are can mix positive side but we are become a win. Okay, thank you, Miss. Only that's from me.
maybe what I got from you is like being politically correctness is something has maybe implemented by most of the person, which part of the parties that they are selected as a political officer maybe, or being a governor, right? So then they need to really watch or aware with their language in order to get the vote. Also, like, it's actually not just because we want to be selected as something, but yeah, turns out probably those kind of political correctness conducted in this kind of cases. Thank you so much for Miss Dana for your sharing. Okay, I think we can move on to the next slide.
Lisa, pardon me, just want to remind you that we have 10 minutes left.
Oh, all right. Maybe, we can just go further to the conclusion slide. Is it allowed?
We can still discuss some of the slides. We can still discuss some of the important slides or interesting slides. Yeah, we've still got time. Take your time.
I think just this one. I really want to discuss about this one, and then we can just go to the conclusion. Okay. Do you guys agree? If political correctness is really permitted a polite culture? Actually, we have illustration here that be seems to be like anecdote, science or something like that to the political correctness campaign. So this before the political correctness, people will say, "My mother-in-law is so fat." No, political correctness emerged. My mother-in-law is so gravitationally talented. What do you think? What do you guys think? Any glance? A brief. Sophie, Miss Sophie, yes?
Yes, miss. I'm sorry, I find that really funny when I read gravitational challenge because I think that's kind of sarcastic.
Yes.
So I don't know if our our political correctness should be should help our society become more polite, or it's just like a bridge for us to be more sarcastic between among each other. But I do agree from some cases, like especially from the word that uses man on it, like the man word in so many occasions really dominated. So instead of using man or woman in particular circumstances, we can use it like in more general. But for other words, I think that it should be fine, because if we try to change it into other word in order to be more polite, another group will get offended again. Like it's like a never ending. It's never ending. What is that? A change. So maybe now we can change that into gravitational challenge, but in the near future, someone will get offended and don't want to be called as a gravitational challenge. So I think that's from me, miss.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, it's needed for only some circumstances and for only certain reason, right? Yeah. I agree with that. Thank you so much, Miss Sophie. Yeah, we got something. We're gonna get something from Mr. Teguh again.
Well, thank you. It's me again. Well, I think the cartoon is a distraction to the real problems. It ignores that language usually used against marginalized and disadvantaged people, and those language has impact on their life, on those marginalized people. people. And this kind of cartoon is not just mean, but it's also lack of empathy, like what we said earlier. I think when we say that your mother is fat, I think there's no, what is it? It's not ignite hatred or discrimination against her. But when you use, let's say, when you use um, word faggots towards gay people, it's not just ignite the hatred and violence towards those community. You strengthen and reproducing the stigma, and I think that's why we need to limit it. The meaning, the political correctness. Uh, we have to polite to everyone. We have to respect to anyone, to everyone. But political correctness is beyond that, more specific to address, to protect the marginalized or disadvantaged group. That's the thing that we have to highlight on. Thank you.
So yeah, yeah. Kind of interesting because like political correctness has their objective, right? Political correctness emerges because they have objective to protect this particular group of people who has been discriminated and disadvantaged by the society. So it doesn't mean that all the language or all the words need to be replaced. Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Tertegu. For the next, we are going to have something from Mr. Pierre. After this,
Hi. So, the question: do you agree political correctness promoted polite culture? I honestly don't think it does anything with the polite culture, because like just from the name, it's political, just politically correct. It's just I think it's just politicians use this. So what I think from the words that we had before, like for example, fireman and then mankind, you can use whatever you want, as long as the way you act is not what you say, but it's more the way you act. If you treat, whether it's women or a man, or whether it's a poor guy or a rich guy, if you what you call it, if you treat them differently, of course there's gonna be a problem. But as long as you use that word, you use the word mankind, you use the word fireman, but you treat women and men equally, there's not gonna be a problem. So I think it's just the way for you to look good in front of the crowd, but what really matters is what you do at the end. So that's pretty much what I think of the what you call it, politically correct topics. Yeah.
Okay, I have an opinion. Okay, like we are as human being, we have feeling, and then why we should make or we have to make. Oh, I apologize. There's a noise. Okay, like we have a feeling, and then after the government, okay, or the some people make the rules of the, what is it, political correctness, promoted a polite culture. But when the meaning of the speaking is treat or straight the person, okay, it's useless, because intention is not good, not a good intention to show, to describe someone. Okay, example, we can see on our screen. Okay, my mother-in-law is so fat. Okay, the meaning is same, our meaning. Okay, both of them okay, has same meaning. Okay, the meaning is for the physique. There's no meaning, it change, okay, but the same meaning. Okay, but we have to know about the feeling. Okay, is, I mean, like it's not needed. Okay, to build or establish a thing like rules of the culture of life. No, because we are a human being, we have a knowledge, we have a mind, we have a feeling. Okay, we have to know and read the situation, when we're gonna speak to the people, especially when the people are in not the mood. Okay, we know how to utilize. Okay, how to I mean, like, choose what is the best word, okay, bad words to them, okay, when the someone has a gloomy feeling, someone has a happy feeling, okay, we can use. It depends on the situation, and when it it will be made a rule, or like promoted a political culture, is, I mean, like, it's useless. That's my opinion.
All right, all right, all right. Yeah, so I think I can combine from what Mr. Thomas said and from what Mr. Pierre before said, that yeah, political correctness. If we try to look at the example again, the word that has been replaced has the same meaning. So actually, what is this necessity, right? As long as we are not we don't mean to be offensive. We don't mean to offend someone. We don't mean to offend particular people. So why the reason? What is the reason for us to change it? We just trying to express what is exists in our mind, right? We just explain. But if we need if we are enforced to be politically correct all the time, it means like there's a limit. There's a limit for us to express the sincere or the pure of our mind, isn't it? So okay, I think that's what I can highlight from Mr. Tama and Mr. Pierre statement. Unfortunately, after this slide, we must to go through directly to the conclusion part. Wait. I think I want hear from two members to who want to conclude, since we have a very limited time allocation left. May I just try to ask?
You can pick some of them, I think.
Miss Sophie.
Yes, miss.
Do you have something you got from this discussion and try to conclude it?
I think it's not just depend on the how the words produce or how they, but it also depends on the information and our expressions, and of course the situation. So, and that's not like a single solution or a single rule for everyone. Just comprehend ourselves. We might like other people to respect other people more. So the changing some words, but some others just differently, I think.
All right. I think I need to say this because like I hope all of you guys could get what Miss Sophie just conclude, because from my side I couldn't really listen to her clearly. But anyways, thank you so much for your conclusion, Miss Sophie. And then for other members, maybe I want to get something from Mr. Teguh.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Just try to conclude our discussion today.
Conclude. Well, I think according to our discussion, political correctness is necessary to protect marginalized or disadvantaged group by the society. And however, we have to what is it? Beware about circumstances. Uh, is it is it it, we also have to aware that is it political correctness, or is just being respectful as usual. Thank you.
All right. Kinda very good statement that we need to aware with ourselves and towards others, toward ourselves alone, that being selective, and also we always need to be respectful. But then when it comes to political correctness, we need to select it again. Is it being polite or respectful as usual, or they just trying to be politically correct? Okay. So then we come to the, I'm sorry, we come to the end. Let me try to make a conclusion as well. So political correctness is a term they use to refer to language that seems intended to give the least amount of offense, especially when describing groups identified by external markers such as race, gender, culture, religion, or sexual orientation. Because the concept has been discussed, disputed, criticized, and satirized by commentators from across society, concerning that the campaign of political correctness might slightly be violating the freedom of speech. But however, there of course also those who stand for this political correctness with the objective to protect these particular groups of people who experience it socially disadvantaged or discriminated against. Okay, maybe that's the conclusion from me. It's also meaning we are going to end this discussion. Thank you so much to you guys for your excellent participation. Thank you so much for your excitement during this discussion. I was really happy and appreciate that. I hope we could have another interesting discussion further. And also, I'm so sorry for all the mistake has been made by myself. And maybe just that's it. Thank you so much. I will give the times again to the host.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for bringing this topic to us and others as well for sharing their thoughts on this issue. I hope that our discussion can broaden our insights, knowledge regarding certain issues, particularly in relation to political correctness. Thank you so much, everyone. Well, before we end, I want to give some feedback because we not only study, learn new insights, but we also learn new languages here. Sorry, a new language, especially English. Well, I've written some feedback actually. So this is our habit after having done the discussion. The host will give some feedback on the language, but I'm sure that everybody already knows this. It's like on ownership, some new phrases that some people might know. Kepemilikan senjata, air hostess pramugari, that's another political correctness issue. And then regarding grammatical issues, I've written we have to aware. I think it needs to be followed by an adjective, sorry, a verb. Okay, have to is a modal. The modal harus diikuti oleh verb satu. But aware is not a verb, it's an adjective. So you should put be before aware. We have to be aware. Just like I aware, I am aware. There needs to be this M or R. We need polite is also an adjective. We need to polite, which is supposed to be we need to be polite. And then I'm happy that some people or most of I used English leaders when we find it difficult to elaborate our ideas. So we'll sound more fluently by using this like how to say, what is it, etc. Every language has their own pillars. When it comes to English, you can use their own English pillars. As Indonesians, we often say or we I think we need to say because has its own meaning. Sebuah, seekor, seorang ya. And then regarding pronunciation issue, I heard disadvantaged. I think it should be disadvantaged. Okay, that's how do you call it? How do we pronounce it? Disadvantage, teach, not touch or touch, but it's teach. Disadvantage. All right, that's all. I'm gonna share this feedback to the group and this slide as well, if you don't mind, Miss Lisa. Can we share it to the group? Your slide. I think your slide is very insightful, personally for me. Okay, before we end, let's take a group photo. Can everyone share their handsome and beautiful face, please? Okay, thank you, Dena, Teguh, Tama, Matt, Farid, Erwin, here. Anyone, can you guys share your screen? Because we're gonna take some pictures. Okay. All right, we're waiting for others. Let me. Oh, first of all, Lisa, can you please? Oh, never mind. I was about to ask you to stop sharing, but it's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You can still show it. All right. It seems that everyone is ready. Let me take some pictures. Okay, give me a second. Right, on a count on 3, 1, 2, 3. One more. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for coming to discussion. Before we end, when I say Auta community, you can say, yesterday we said tomorrow. Okay, Auta community, yesterday we said tomorrow. Thank you so much, everyone. That's our jargon, which is quite funny. Okay, I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for coming. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye all.
Thanks a bunch. Thanks a lot.